What is going on, Unblinded? Welcome to the Unblinded Morning Huddle, the number one place to start your day with a daily dose of integrity-based human influence. That was awesome to jump in to some Queen here this morning. Thank you, Unblinded team, for dropping the energy. And today we're here on Thankful Thursday. And on Thankful Thursday, I'm thankful for wisdom. I'm thankful for individuals who have experienced more. I realize in thinking recently that wisdom is experience and the application of intentional thinking, because the truth is we don't have to experience everything to have wisdom. We can learn from those that have experienced and have wisdom. And I remember hearing a quote really early on in life that really struck with me. I haven't said it in a while. Let's see how it comes out. It says, a smart man or smart person, smart human, makes a mistake, learns from it, and never makes it again. An intelligent human finds a smart human and never makes a mistake at all. I remember I was maybe 17, 16, 18, around there. I was like, that one makes sense. I want to be that guy. And I've done optimal and suboptimal in different stages in life. I've definitely made a slew of bad decisions. I feel like I've currently made a few bad decisions this week, and it happens. And ultimately, it's about counting the good ones, measuring the bad ones, learning from the suboptimal ones, and continuing to grow from there. So on this Thankful Thursday, as Sean will be jumping on momentarily, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? Let's drop it in the chat. What's present for you? What are you thankful for? What's something that you can show gratitude for? Is it a person? Is it a thought? Is it a lesson? Is it a dream? What are you thankful for? And let's write it in the chat so we can have some optics to share with Sean when he jumps on. And Kyle says his spouse. That's a beautiful thing to be grateful for. So let's share, what are we grateful for this morning? Whether it's a thought, whether it's a wish, a person, a memory, whatever it may be, what are we thankful for? And it's also always beautiful to have this energy from all of you, so thank you. And for everyone who is new here, this is the number one place to start your day with a daily dose of integrity-based human influence. And it's a place of community. It's a tribe. It's a village. And as you can see by the beautiful messages in the chat right now, if you're new, everyone here thoroughly cares about humanity. We love all people unconditionally. It's one of our indispensable elements with boundaries and integrity. And that's present here. And we work hard and we move fast. And it's also really important. So what I would give to all of you today is all the things, and I'm seeing such beautiful messages in the chat. Let's share that with one person today. We used to play the power of one in the Unblinded Huddle, where we used to have one person bring one person. Today, we're going to use that concept and put it into gratitude. Let's share with one person today what we're grateful for. And what would be even funner is if we share it with someone who's not expecting it. Someone that maybe we haven't spoke to, someone that maybe we don't share gratitude as often to. Let's share. How will we share that? It will be a message, a call, a hug, a note, smoke signals, whatever that is. But let's take the opportunity today to not only share within this movement what we're grateful for, let's share it with one person. It could be a total stranger. Let's share some gratitude today and have that practice be totally here and present as we begin the end of yet another amazing week here at Unblinded. And a big congratulations to everyone that has stepped in powerfully in the creation of their 10 by 10. Sean Grossi did an amazing job. Tiffany Armstrong, she's been doing an amazing job. Shuling J, Dr. Michelle Gamble, Rebecca Jones, Jay Levine, and so many others, Craig B. And I'm sorry if I didn't say your name. There's just so many happening. Truly just incredible. Once again, just like the Real Raw, it went from an idea to reality. And all of you are radically committing and doing incredible things and flexing your influence mastery muscles and having people say yes. So a big shout out to all our Real Raw Open leaders who are putting that together. And there's more. I believe there's 4 more today. I know Rob Gill had his yesterday. From what I hear, it was incredible. So big shout out to him and his team, and Carolyn and Krista for making that happen, putting that together. 13 amazing rock stars. And that's what we're doing here. Real Raw Open is the personification of what we're up to and what we're doing in the formula. And we'll transition to this quick notes. As I've been on several phone calls, several coaching calls, people are always asking, man, I want to know more about the formula. I want to learn the formula. I got, like, you guys say this language and you say these things. How do I learn the formula? And I just want to like debunk, or better said, add some depth, that the huddles, the real raw opens, the real raws, those are places to get exposed to the formula. They're not really places to directly go learn. Once you have, an entry foundation of the formula, and you have something to view those things with, a prism in which to view the huddle, the real raw open, and the real raw through, then it becomes a much more optimal place to learn. The entry point for learning the formula is our 30-day program. It has 30 days, it's 10, 15-minute videos. It goes through the 4 steps, the 10 indispensable elements, and the 4 energies of our unblended results formula, integrity-based human influence. And to all our mastery students, if you have not finished that yet and you're deep into the 90-minute modules in the Mastery University, I recommend that you might take a pause and get a quick refresher, specifically on influence mastery, on the 4 steps, 10 indispensable elements, and 4 energies through our 30-day program. So for everyone that's here, like with a deeper desire for more, to learn more, do more, give more, thrive more, all words of Courtney Epps, a beautiful access point is that 30-day program. Sean, just saw you jump on. Welcome, and over to you.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. And happy Thankful Thursday. Yes, couldn't mastery students and everybody. The 30-day program is built to each day have a module to create acceleration and progress each and every day. And the progress I'm seeing by the focus of people in mastery and the Real Raw Opens has been present and real. And I just keep from my heart sharing, like really making sure we are following through on our process mastery and know what we're doing with that time. But let's pivot a bit today. So my pivot today is into I guess couple different spaces. So number one, I want you to begin to think about your greatness. And for a lot of us, we've been taught, and it's really complicated, as we've discussed in prior huddles, sit down, shut up, et cetera, et cetera. The complex line between ego and appropriately conveying your unique identity. And that's why in the formula, we really so strongly advocate the supporting of people stepping into their greatness, not to the diminishment, or exclusion of others, but into your heart and helping people see what's great about them. In coaching club baseball, for example, a lot of the kids that I saw with their parents, I saw some of the craziest things you could ever imagine. I saw a dad throwing baseballs at his son, like not 100 miles an hour, but like annoyingly, like angrily, not annoyingly, like throwing them at his son. I saw coaches in the cage throw pitches and hit their son on purpose, frustrated or upset. And so there's a wildly interesting line between how so with those people, like when I started coaching, a lot of coaches, so let me stay there for a second. So a lot of what I saw coaches there doing was motivating through negativity. I've also played for coaches who motivated through like immense emotional neutrality. You've heard me share, and I wrote something on Sunday, Father's Day, thanking all the role models, the coaches, the people, and we can repost that today, that have positively impacted my life. And I think what there is immense commonality over is that these are people who unlocked, who certainly held accountable, certainly shared direct truth. I had, for example, people, Coach Larry Ennis, in front of a room full of people say, I thought you were somebody, I guess you're nobody, as I was giving into my own ego and not wanting to go to a program in Virginia, like a tryout program. So how you approach confronting yourself is an issue for a different day. How we confront approaching people is a story for a different day. I'm simply bringing us present to the reality that most people have not been taught. They've been taught that side of things. On the flip side of things, when Coach Ennis is bringing me back up again, he's appropriate, because he was right, by the way, for what happened and what I was doing. And if he didn't tell me that truth and I didn't cry, I never would have gone to Old Dominion. And he created leverage through truth to help me make a breakthrough in my life that changed things beyond comprehension. However, most people don't live on either side of that pole. Like, these are extreme dynamics. And I'm sure for some of you, like, oh my God, like he made you cry. Yeah. Like, my coaches have made me cry a lot in my life. And I thank them for it, because they weren't trying to make me cry to be harmful. They were trying to make me confront truth, not for their own emotional ego, but like to help me, support me, and change my life. It's why I cry when I think about Coach Slazak, who after the first day of practice, I wanted to quit and go home and run to my mom and dad and say, mother, father, stepfather, stepmother, and say, he's crazy. And my biological dad said, you're right. What does he do for a living? Besides, like, this coach, he drives buses. This bus driver is yelling at my kid. Some bus driver is telling you who you are. Some bus driver. Like, that's what my dad was saying. Full of ego, full of emotion, full of upset. My stepfather said, whoa, like, you're going back to practice tomorrow. Like, see this through. You quit later, like, see it through. And Coach Slazak turned out to be everything I wanted, everything I dreamt of, everything I needed, right? Coaches that some of my children have had weren't that, though. They were the make you cry kind, right? And attack, and there was no love side. There was no acknowledgement. There was no build-up side. So the space that you sit in, we sit in the creation of our relationship dynamics with people, is to understand that most of it happens in this narrow parameter. Most people are too afraid to share supportive feedback, right? For fear of upsetting. And on the flip side of it, very few people give true acknowledgement validation, which is why Oprah sits where she does. So the encouragement for anybody new on the Huddle, right? And as well as anybody who's been, here for longer, is to just be very present to the dynamic of you supporting other people and stepping into their greatness, encouraging the right behaviors, acknowledging the right behaviors, and inviting them to share their dreams openly and passionately. And that's why at step 2, and I hear this missing a lot of the Real Raw Opens and Real Raws, what's missing at step 2 very often is like, hey, so like I hear, hey, where would you like to be in a year? Like, that's a completely different question. That, hey, if everything goes the way you want, what do you have? Like, what does it all look like? It's different tonally, energetically, emotionally, completely different. So what I share with you is, what is your greatness first? Like, not your full heroic, paragraphs of your heroic, unique identity, not your full story, but what is your greatness? Not greatness like because you are, somebody else isn't, but what are you great at, right? What are you great at? What else are you great at? And what else are you great at? Like 3 things that you feel proud about that you're great at, right? And what second, throw this in the chat, right? What are you committed to doing at step 1 and 2? Like, are you committed? Just yes or no. Are you committed to using the formula to model what Oprah said? And by the way, I created this long before I heard Oprah's final video. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what we're doing when she said it. I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. Like, are you fully committed to that? So like, what are you great at? 3 things. Second question is like, are you a yes for supporting other people and stepping into their greatness and hearing things they don't hear from anybody else in the world? Not because you're making it up. You're not telling somebody they're a great dancer when they're not. You're not telling somebody that they're, oh my God, I love your shoes when you don't. This is, my God, like, what a beautiful acknowledgement. That's like, very few people do that in the world. Like, thank you for showing up that way and appropriately, authentically acknowledging people. And the third question would be, right? If you have it all your way, what does it look like? Like, what is your impact? Not like, Corona is cured. It could be racism ends. but a little bit smaller than that. Like, what are you actually doing? Like, one or two sentences. And the reason I'm sharing this is when you commit to things publicly, and a lot of us are too afraid. And Tony Robbins taught me this from In Awaken the Shining Within, to make these declarations of not wildly ridiculous, not like I'm gonna, be a trillionaire, right? Maybe you might say that. I don't want to limit anybody, but something that you know is possible. And if you're committing yourself, your life will look like it. Like an example could be, if somebody is in a space of accounting, maybe it's that, or better yet, in a space of influence. Maybe it's better yet that you're going to be a force for good in bringing truth to the media in how they select what news is, overall. And you're going to create a truth media platform that's not like truth of attacking, but like truth of like what should be prioritized that people should be connected to and know versus like negativity. I don't know. Like, what is it for you that you want to put out in the world? Like your name is attached, like it's there, that you're committed to creating in the world. And just, you have to write this, but is that scary? Is that scary for you to write that and to say that? Because it was for me. And I remembered all the people that laughed at me and said, my friends, and I told you my family, they didn't laugh at me. Some laughed. Some did laugh at me. So I'm like, you went to a Tony Robbins seminar, like weird infomercial guy? Like, dude, what are you, in a cult? Like, that was said to me, right? By my friends as we were like playing basketball. We're like 27 and we're playing a pickup game, just hanging out, and it felt like not great, I had people say like, wait, you think you could do this? Like, there's just no way you're going to have an impact on this, or there's no way you're going to create, like, this is a business in New Jersey, working in these spaces in healthcare recovery. It's not going to happen. Like, you can't. So what is it for you? And Fernando, let's drop in. Any activity in the chat, or what is that looking like? Any thoughts?
Yeah, let me pull them up, read a few. Rebecca Jones is standing for others' greatness when they don't stand for themselves and their own greatness. Orlando, I am a go-getter. Michelle, what makes feedback effective? Janelle, on my love letter from Date with Destiny, I stated it. I see you. I see you. I feel you. I hear you. I am you. Karen, I see the big picture and the details at the same time. Samia, that's me, Sean. I don't praise if I don't think it's being authentic to say such a thing. Dimple, half the divorce rate globally. Lou, deep, going into macro.
Yeah.
And that is what we got.
Let me pause right. Let me support. So further. So enrich that publicly, like, Orlando, beautiful job, brother. Taking action, writing something down, like, enrich it. I'm a go-getter. What does that mean? Like, expand it. Like, so what is the next manifestation of you being a go-getter mean? And what are you great at? Like, what are you great at? Because I didn't hear anybody saying what I'm great at. Fernando just read some things. Maybe it's higher up in the chat, Fernando. Could you scroll up a little bit and make sure? But I want to make sure people are saying what you're great at. Like, boldly claim it. Doesn't mean you're better than everybody else, but you're great at it. It's something people should recognize you for. It's people in the movement should know, hey, I'm a great level 5 listener. That might be you, right? Saying that. Hey, I am great at loving people unconditionally. My boundaries are a little iffy, right? I'm great at loving people unconditionally and boundaries. I'm great at boundaries, but not great at loving people. What is it that you're great at? Just so we can claim it. We can become comfortable sharing about ourselves and begin to eliminate the discomfort. Fernando, what is present for you? Not like what's present in the chat, and then I want to say what's present for you.
So we have the chat is fired up. Patricia's, I'm great at leading, guiding, and coaching. Janelle Gordon, my superpower is that I'm great at helping people reconnect to the healthy, empowered, intimacy, and sensuality. Dimple, I'm great at transforming relationships fast. Samia, I'm great at reading faces. Liba, I'm great at connecting people in a room. Jay, I am great at building relationships. Dr. Michelle Gamble.
I want to hear Dr. Michelle Gamble. Go ahead, yes.
Dr.
Please.
Michelle Gamble, having the courage to shine the light of truth in the world of darkness, fear, and lies.
Yeah, right. And I want to have Dr. We said we have Donna on. We didn't have her on last week. I want to have Donna and Dr. Gamble on, and Cadorsal on tomorrow if we can. So please, let's put that in the chat, so if
Can
they're
we put
here.
that on just for Monday? We have a Crystal Robinson, the #1 scoring player in WNBA history, on tomorrow.
Got it. Okay, so we'll put that happily on for Monday.
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you for acting. And you should thank yourself for acting. Go deeper. So Dimple, you're great at saving marriages because why? What are 3 things you're great at? I'm great at people listening to me. I'm great at people seeing things differently. Jay, what are you great at that makes you great at relationships? Like, let's begin to dig into our micro distinctions of acceleration. So we're doing now 2 things. We're supporting you in becoming comfortable publicly claiming your greatness. First, second, you're becoming comfortable at seeing the micro distinctions of why you're great at things. And what this helps you do is also highlight opportunities for growth. It also helps you highlight the micro distinctions of what makes you great at something to even enrich and expand it more. So that is phenomenal. Great job, great actions. And I want to drop in while we're doing this on one footnote that I'm going to ask Fernando. Hey, Fernando, what are you great at? Okay. And I'll probably say this a couple of times for people that are out there, but I made some comments early in the week, and I get this, and I'd love feedback on this. Do you feel like my analogies can get a little bit complicated sometimes for you? Like, do you want more analogies from me, less analogies from me, or the same analogies from me? Because I want to get better, right? Because some of the things I said the other day, I heard were interpreted as me drawing comparisons in a negative way, potentially towards somebody else in the world. And that was not my intention. My intention the other day, and I will repeat this, was to make sure that people know and understand that we're present to the complexity of what we do and don't say about anything, right? There's complexity. It's like, oh, I moved to Arkansas. And if you moved to Arkansas because you got divorced, like, do you say that? And people go, oh my goodness, like, what happened? Do you answer? Like, and if you do answer, like, what do you say objectively, subjectively? How do you do that or not do that? Where are those lines and boundaries in the sense of truth and integrity and ethics and professionalism? Like, how do you do that, right? And so it's interesting for me because that exists in the world, right? And we live in a world today where you could have an employee, like, let's say, that works for you, and they have, like, we have the ability to operate in the space of anonymity in the world at large. And so what I would love to make in a live, ongoing conversation at Unblinded is how do we resolve and reconcile that complex issue? If you are deciding, if Dimple decided tomorrow that she is going to become the greatest coach of basketball players in the world on how to slam dunk a basketball, and you're like, oh wow, like, what call it? And we teach in the formula, ask questions like, hey Dimple, why is that? And let's say it's because Dimple felt like, God had spoken to her and said, or, the universe, and said, I think that nobody should be married. Right. And she's like, whoa, like, I don't know if I should say that. Right. Like, where is the line? Like, this is the global, ongoing, unresolved conversation in what's private, what should be more public, what's subjective, objective. That is my space, not to denigrate anybody in any way. That's it. Right. And so where is that? So that is my space and my place. And in conversing about examples of, like, somebody from the FBI, like, executing or seeing this or not seeing this, as a good-hearted person, that was the point of my example. So that's all. I leave it there. No denigration, right? If we want to confront, and going to this, like, let's say that we want to confront in truth and say George Floyd was murdered. Like, well, that hasn't been decided yet. It just hasn't. And we can all look at the video and go, well, a court of law, we have due process, we have rights in America, we have those things. But like, I don't know about you, but I think George Floyd was murdered, and I don't need the criminal justice system to tell me that. And I'm blind. I just have somebody watch a video and tell me what's going on it and say, yeah, dude, that's murder. But, when is it okay to say a conclusion and not a conclusion? And what about the other police officers that were there? These are all examples of the complexity of areas that I want to ongoingly explore. And Blinded would be an example of, what about the other police officers? Their families are probably flipping out, saying my brother, sister, aunt, uncle, son, whatever, was first day on the job. Like, what should he pulled out a gun and shot them? Like, what should he tackled them? And I'm not agreeing with any of it. I'm just saying that, we live in an interesting society of blame and judgment of people. And I fall victim to it too. I do it, right? Imperfectly. So admission, zero perfection here. Hi, I'm Sean, zero perfection. I blame, I judge. I aspire to not blame and judge, because that's inconsistent with loving people unconditionally, boundaries, right? First. Second, what is it, as we're like balancing the line of like truth, let's say in melding issues between like Democrats and Republicans, like how do we handle communicating about complicated issues? And that's just an alive conversation that I don't think should be the focal point of each day, but it's going to come up in your life and your business. It's going to come up in all of our lives and business. What do we say and not say? Like, I was divorced, and there's things about that I think are incredible lessons that could be learned, mistakes I made, mistakes that I believe somebody else made. And there's really like important things I think I could teach the world from what I went through. Is it right though? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I haven't like resolved that. And maybe we could all help each other with that, as time goes along. When people write quote unquote tell-all books, they're often for salacious purposes. Like, I get it. But if somebody writes, an experience that they went through, is that okay? So that was the space that I was desiring to like just make present, because some of those complexities like weigh in my mind and heart, not to vilify, denigrate, or create any view of anybody, period. Okay. So Fernando, by the way, what are you great at, Fernando?
I'm great in sitting and confronting discomfort. I am great at 5D listening in silence, and I am great at filling a void in leadership without any need of attention or direction.
Okay, awesome. And now present for you, right, is the dynamic of how communication can be received, because you had, without dropping into any specifics, you had a communication, recently with somebody who's great and wonderful, who we love, and it got a little weird, right, in the communication because of like, let's say a word, and, let's say we said apples, and it's like, well, I hate apples, like, right? So I could hear your heaviness. So just share your heart, about what are your biggest fears about how you're received in the world?
You said it yesterday. You were alluding to it, like what pulls us, and what pulls me, and it's been a pull, and I'm like confronting it, and you're hearing it correctly. I do feel my heart is very heavy at the moment. It is like a pull of not being understood, and it's like a constant juggle of, how do I juggle the variance of my energies with the desire to drive outcome at speed is a constant. It's like a constant thinking, and maybe it's an overthinking. And what is present for me is, just the power, as you said, like apples. I hate apples. Like the power of word, the power of language. I've had some pretty funny distinctions with my brother recently, where we said one word, like the color red, for example, and what he thought was red and what I thought was red was literally galactically different. And it just remade present for me how easily things could be distorted. And that's, things like that are what the media preys on, what other people prey on is like the ability to, you know, only see half the message.
And it's objectively true, by the way, right? That literally, if I say coaching, some people go, oh my God, yeah, of course, amazing, beautiful, wonderful. Some people go, are you kidding me? Like coaching? You coach? It's ridiculous. Like these are just a bunch of unsuccessful people, lost and unfulfilled, who want to like ... right? So language means just different things to different people. So I share this. Has anybody else in the world ever felt misunderstood? If you've ever felt misunderstood in your life, put a yes in the chat, right? And if you felt misunderstood this week, if you felt misunderstood by anybody in the world this week, put a yes. And so the simple point is, this is life. Like we're gonna feel misunderstood, right? And we have to deal with it. And it's like, what do we do from there? And my final for today on this Thankful Thursday is that for all of us, me included, we are conditioned in our nervous system not to succeed. We are conditioned to be drawn towards pain and upset and to exaggerate it, blow it up in our mind, and just feel like connected to it. Our ability to rise above and through that masterfully and to focus on what we do want, right? And by the way, which is, because remember, I always say like pain, effectively connecting to pain. So we do want to be not losing our ultimate why, dream, and legacy. And I had an incredible conversation with a person this morning. I will leave you with this, that has a beautiful and incredible vision of the world. And I simply said, I get it. And I get that you don't want to do this thing, but how do you get from here to where you want to go? And it's a really smart, really successful person. And the answer was, I guess you're right. I said, I didn't say anything. I just asked a question though. I'm like, but I know what your question means. I have no idea. And so the way that I was able to, and I didn't build Microsoft, and there's probably people on this line who have more money than me. Maybe not. There's people who are smarter, all those things, right? But I do know this. When I have done the things that I don't want to do, like typing envelopes when I first started my law firm, like filing the arbitration demands, like figuring out how to code a medical bill, and things I just did not want to do, didn't think I'd have to do when I had the vision of start my own business on a credit card. It was on the other side of all that was all the things I wanted. So maybe a final for you today is, what is it that you're not doing? Because it's not the ultimate vision, and it makes you like grumbly or upset or sad or frustrated or feel far away, but it's absolutely essential to get the ultimate vision. What is that? Capture it. I'm so thankful for everybody here. It is Thankful Thursday. Have a beautiful day.